The youths, their perspectives, ideas and actions are vital for creating a world that is environmentally conscious, socially just and economically viable. By investing in youth empowerment and providing them the necessary tools and opportunities, experts say we can ensure a more brighter and more sustainable future for generations to come. The question is, are we genuinely engaging youths for sustainable development? What can be done proactively, differently, to harness the positive impact of youth across the value chains? Well, key players say President Bola Tinubu has kicked the ball rolling with the involvement of young people in his cabinet as ministers. You must have already guessed that our focus on this edition is on youth and sustainable development, empowering the future. Welcome to 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. I'm Lydia Samson. Our first feature by Stephen Nwokolo is looking at youth empowerment and sustainable development and the crucial role the young people play in shaping a sustainable future for the nation. Steve, how are youth networks contributing towards achieving sustainable development goals? Please share that as well as other findings with us.
Youth and sustainable development entail growing and developing the skills, connections, and abilities of young people to contribute through sharing of collective ideas, solutions, and innovations towards the sustainable development of any country. Youths are considered a major force and key agents of social change in the various disciplines and areas of human endeavors, as they represent about 70% of the Nigerian's population and contribute to the socio-economic development goals. Lending credence to youth and development achievements, former Youth Council leaders say it is crucial to harmonize three core elements, which include economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. This, according to experts, will scale up youth skills development as well as proactively building entrepreneurship and resilient spirits among young people.
How the youth can participate in the socio-economic development of the country. Yes, but the youth are the future of every nation, every family, every nation. And the youth must be given opportunity to contribute. If we look back in the early 70s, early 60s, early 70s to even late 80s, it was the youth that were the front burner of the economic of this country, So the youth, the role of the youth to promote socio-economic development of our nation cannot be underestimated. They have the ideas, they have the energy, they have the strength, they have the exposure, intelligence, in terms of education. So any country that push their youth to the background, that country will suffer. But the youth is the strength of every nation.
Some of the identified areas where youths have excelled include entertainment, sports, information and communication technology. In spite of the giant strides youths have made in the socio-economic and sustainable development of the country, advocates are suing for a more inclusive society that will proactively harness productive energy of youths towards the realization of greater opportunities and empowerment for involvement of more youths in the leadership positions in the country.
When you give young people the platform to expose themselves, to demonstrate their inner capacities, they go very far in doing wonderful things. I remember in those days, in the days of Judy Magwe of Nance, in the days of Wale Ajanidam, in Youth Council. These are people who demonstrated and created, made impact in the youth structures. But these days what you find is that the political elite does not want to give the young people the opportunity to excel. Everything is just around them. They want to take everything. They want to create all the platform, put themselves in the place. And at the end of the day, you see that the young people are being suppressed to demonstrate that inner capacity and ingenuity that they have.
But for our youth, we have to engage our youth into agricultural productions. We have to engage them into ICT. We have to engage them into whatever because an idle man is a devil workshop. Until we come to terms with that, by stop using our youth for political thuggery and all of that, we are not going forward. So therefore, my advice to the nation, to the leadership of this country, is that the country is blessed with abundant human resources. 70% of Nigerian populations are within the age, the youth demography, and therefore we must engage them positively. Otherwise, they may go astray and get themselves involved in negative social vices.
They equally canvassed for the development of mechanized agricultural activities to attract and engage more youths towards contributing positively to the 2030 agenda, which include fights against hunger and enshrining of good health.
So it's a garbage in, garbage. If we want to see the potential of young people, the system, the enabling environment have to be there. Government must be prepared for that, and it starts from the school. The curriculum is outdated, given to us by our colonial masters. What am I? I'm drawing a grasshopper as a biology student. I'm drawing a cockroach, labeling it. How does it give me money? So we must change our curriculum. We must start get it from the education system. We must start training the young people how to create, how to innovate. Look at, I just give an example with the digital content that everybody is creating. With the comedy, a lot of young Nigerians are making money online because of the videos, the short comedy, the things that we're doing. You can see a lot. They are buying houses. You can see that they are making money. They are contributing to the economy of this country. But we must, if we must maximize this to the fullest, so that truly we become the big brother of Africa that we are, we become the giant of Africa that we are, then the enabling government should focus more on creating an enabling environment for young people, especially for young starters. And when you do that, you have solved half of the people of this country. Who give trouble? Who protest? Who are the people that protest? Young people. Who are the people that snatch people's phone and do it? Young people. Who are the majority of them are jobless? They're not. There's no enabling environment. We don't see that. We should not say that should encourage crime. But the government needs to do that. And why I'm saying that enabling environment, because we have come to see the opposite effect of this. Why are Nigerians excelling outside this country?
We want the government to have youth, at least 50% youth inclusiveness in all activities of government. If that is done, we know that you represent the largest bloc, and because of that, policies and programs will be made that will be targeted at protecting the youth. Without the youth's involvement in government, little will be done to ameliorate this tightening situation. A lot of us are already passing through and having to contend with fuel subsidy removal. There's an unemployment scam going on. There's corruption going on. And at the end of it all, the youths are at the receiving end. We want to engage in private businesses, but the enabling environments are not there. Our youth today are overtaxed, regardless of their innovation, regardless of their entrepreneurial skill. They are paying all manner of tax, all manner of deduction, all manner of harassment. The business environment is not conducive because the youths are not actively involved, are not actively represented in government. There's nothing stopping the political elite from at least ceding 50% of the appointments and electoral position to the youth.
Youths are also known to contribute their efforts to the realization of the country's SDGs, peer education and skills. The cardinal objective of youths in nation building is to be empowered in different skills to become active citizens determined to create awareness on the environment and social responsibility issues.
Basically, what the government needs to do for the youth is to empower them to create jobs. Like me, I'm an artist, and if you check down north, the entertainment down there, the support is really poor. So we don't have people that support us and promote us. So I believe if we have all these senators like Shinapela that supports them, Whiskey, Davido, Olamide from the north, we have a lot of rich men in the north, but they don't support entertainment. And I believe they are good talents, they are good creatives from the north, which there's a lot of money in music. If you check the numbers in the north, we have a lot of numbers in the north, but there's no standard artist that's up to that tax. So I believe from that part of entertainment, if you empower the youth and the artists from the northern part of Nigeria, to help a lot, you get. So I believe if the government will try and help out and see this perspective from our own perspective of the youth, I think it will help a lot. It will go a long way.
In advanced economies, development is successfully sustained over a long period of time. This is proving difficult in the developing economies, especially in Africa. And
my own standpoint, I own a record label and I own a film company, Oric Productions and Arewa Beat. So we are a youth-oriented company, you know. So I believe that the youth is the powerhouse of every economy, you know. Unlike most countries, Nigeria is a country that really focuses more on the elderly people. And I believe that when there's a shift, when they now focus more on the youth, you'll find that things will be moving much better, much smoother. You know, if you focus on the youth, then the youth will not be too lazy, idle. They will be focused on productive things, you know, things that add to the society.
Expectations are high that with renewed energy between the political elite and the youth leaders, the gap towards empowering the youths can be bridged for a peaceful and sustainable future.
The next report is by Thomas Ogbetere, who is reeling out some of the achievements of Nigerian youth during former head of state General Yakubu Gowon's era. If young people played key roles then, what went wrong now? How are the Nigerian youth changing the narrative through their innovative ideas? Thomas, kindly bring us up to speed.
The responsibility of citizens to their country are well known to the citizens. In Nigeria, for instance, these are spelled out in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Therefore, to ensure sustainable socio-economic development of Nigeria, all hands must be on deck, the youth inclusive. It is believed that citizens who neglect their roles due to ignorance or lack of patriotism may not be able to know or enforce their rights. 30 Minutes on NTA News 24 tried to find out from some youths what they believe their roles in society is. They are of the opinion that youths must be good followers by upholding their constitutional mandate, operating patriotically, and contributing their quota in the development of the country.
As a youth and a citizen of Nigeria, we are not meant to see crime being committed and leave it like that. We are meant to report to the authorities, either the police or anybody you see that has the power to come and stop what is going on.
I have the responsibility to solve any problem in the society and not be part of the problems.
They opined that as youths and citizens, they also expect government at all levels to create the enabling environment for the youths to maximize their potentials, as well as create necessary infrastructure and social amenities for the citizens to excel.
Okay, I want the government to provide social amenity, provide job opportunities, provide programs for youth to learn skills acquisitions.
I want the government to be able to give youth a sense of direction, because us youths, we look up to the government. Without the government, we can't be future leaders of tomorrow.
Experts are of the opinion that during the Yakubu Gowon era, Nigerian youths occupied a great percentage of positions across the value chains, achieving great results as youths. Since then, Nigerian youth's contribution to leadership allegedly seemed to have dwindled. If the youth played significant roles in various sectors, notably and including fighting for the unity of Nigeria during the Civil War, in addition to contributing to building most of the infrastructures still seen as national pride of Nigeria to date. The question is, what went wrong?
Our social media have preoccupied the mind of our youth, which is unfortunate. And that preoccupation has caused a lot of negative response from the youth of today. Literally, by borrowing from the international or foreign cultures, which is not part of our own culture of building a better tomorrow for our Nigerian youth. So recently we came up with some few programs that can help in terms of rape, in terms of kidnap, insecurity, etc. But we found out that the rate at which our youth are involved in drug activities, it's quite alarming. And that is why we had to commend the NDLEA for their effort in trying to nip it on the board.
Yeah, the problem that arose for those people in power, youth before, still in cycle leading, was because they could not provide an able environment for the incoming youth to participate, especially in politics. Because without coming to politics, nobody will recognize you. But the situation where the youth does not have what it takes to campaign, to meet up with the challenges, to be a leader or to have constituency project or portfolio in their various states, you will find out that yes, the old people that has this cash in their domain will soon be the person to be in power. So until you come to realize self-discovery and acceptance to embrace the youth to come into the power, from there you could be able to see the changes as we have seen not too young to run politics has started right from Buhari now.
Well, if we want to look at the youth from the era of Yakubu Gowon up to the present era, there have been a rapid metamorphosis of ideas and values. In those early stage, those early eras, the youth then were more disciplined and more focused in achieving their aim. That does not mean to say that we don't have those who are also doing who are also into vices, some vices. But you realize that even then, when we had the head of state, Yakubu Gowon then, he was a military officer, and there's a level of discipline that military doctrine has inculcated into them. And this era, they were focused on what they want to achieve. But if you fast forward to the present era, most of the youth we have now are on the fast lane of life. And that has made them to lose building up values that will sustain them in whatever they are doing in this particular era.
The youth from era of Gowon if he can saddle all those responsibilities, I believe that is the highest Nigerian youth has gone. But down the line, you find out that youth has come into ministerial powers and other aspects of life and innovation and in writings too. The youth are making so much impact there because they are the future of the generation. But I feel that the youth can still be used more in this present dispensation. If you check the Sustainable Development Goal, you find that they have about 232 indicators to measure the success, only 68 of it that is directly related to youth. Though further 18 has things that are related to youth, but they are not specified to youth alone.
They noted that unfortunately, successive generations had neglected harnessing the potentials of the Nigerian youth due to evolving challenges such as access to quality education, sabotage, lack of economic empowerment, and opportunities, leading to inadequate representation of youths in leadership positions.
Making them to feel important by bringing them into their decision making. Let them say, you may think their ideas are foolish or stupid or whatever you call it, but deep down you find out that what they've said is for their own generation. You tailor it to suit whatever you want. Because when you put them in decision making, they will see the reasons to be able to achieve something, to make that your reasoning be achievable.
That they must start to learn that they ought to also ensure that they too understand what leadership is all about. So, so investing in them for national development and the rest is good, but again, they must be ready to be under tutelage at every point in time.
That we consider some youth to be responsible, some not to be responsible. The necessity, life necessity, house, food, and clothing should be a primary assistance from our leaders to the youth.
They acknowledge that while the youths have continued to display resilience and passion for national development, formation of more inclusive youth-oriented policies, mentorship programs, and advocacy for affirmative action in political and corporate spheres must be tackled. They urge government to engage more young men and women in leadership positions to serve and showcase their potentials.
The Nigerian youth have a lot of expectations and a lot of bright future. They must build on it. We cannot allow them to destroy the bigger Nigerian of tomorrow. So my advice in a nutshell is Nigerian youth must learn to tolerate each other, appreciate each other's excesses, and let us build a bigger and a better Nigerian for tomorrow.
I want to plead with the federal government to allow, if they can have a center for the youths where they can try new technology they got from any other place. Because if you check youths, they are on internet 247, and in that internet they get ideas from other youths from other countries, what they are doing and how they are doing it. If the Nigerian government can be able to have such an institution for them, I think we will develop more on research, because the beauty of every nation lies on research. If we are not researching, we cannot do much.
Some experts also admitted the nation has not invested enough on its youths. They agree that some giant strides may have been made by this current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu so far. According to them, there is still need for increased allocation of resources towards education, skill development, and entrepreneurship, as well as public-private partnership. If this is pursued genuinely and with the right political will, Nigeria will unlock the full potentials of its youth, thereby securing a brighter future for the nation.
Nigerian youths are trying, and the government are doing their best, only that I feel they will do more. The Nigerian youths, what they need is mentorship. As I've said before, they need to be guided, because the way they are saying things is not the way we adults that have seen it all are seeing it. But there are certain aspects they are seeing that we are not seeing, because they are more of computer age now.
When you look at it holistically, most of the youth today have good potentials to be great, and we have some of the youth that have become pace setters in life, especially in Nigeria. We have them in the music world, in the sporting world, in the art world, even educationally, in different spheres of their professional endeavor. But majority of them do not understand the type of foundation they ought to build for themselves.
Once they discover you are well to do, you have what it takes to lead, and you are not coming from their family, they try to bench you and bring their own children to take over.
The consensus is that there is an urgent need to do more across the value chain towards empowering youth that will change the fortunes of the country for generations yet unborn.
What more can Nigerian government, the elites, parents and religious leaders do towards nurturing and empowering the generations of young people that will change the fortunes of the country and make them imbibe greater commitment and patriotism to reposition Nigeria amongst the Committee of Nations? I believe we all have a role to play towards building that better future. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe. I'm Lydia Samson.